Yeah, Andrew Garfield is in a new relationship, and the media has been reporting on it. But it happens to be with Hollywood's favorite witch. She is a self-professed professional witch for A-listers in Hollywood, for Fortune 500 companies, CEOs. Her name is Kate Thomas, and she recently did an interview with the Sunday Times to talk about all of the horrific allegations that have recently been sent her way now in this high-profile relationship with an actor. But in this interview, she talks about spells, seduction, and online trolling. And the reason she's talking about seduction here is because I went on her website and found that she offers what she calls an authentic seduction masterclass. Access your true desires and show up in the world with confidence you envy in others. This is one of the many services she provides. She also does tarot readings, astrology, other things like that. She charges insane amounts,
the amounts
for these readings.
Crazy.
So she's doing fine just on her own.
I can respect the hustle. She's a hyper capitalist. It's awesome.
Definitely. But yeah, they mentioned that she has a tattoo that says F politeness. The point being, she explains that, quote, women are socialized to please others over their own safety. I'm absolutely never going to do that.
Well, what I thought was funny was I pointed out, I said, you've told me on a number of occasions that, women tend to be too agreeable and that gets them into trouble in some respects. So I guess this is her way of telling you that that's a bad thing. She's agreeing with you, but putting it on a shirt.
There is no reason that you should ever tattoo the phrase F politeness on your body. It does not contradict my take.
If you saw that on a woman, that wouldn't give you any second thoughts.
Of course it would. It's
be polite to the people you should be polite to.
I know you're playing
and don't
devil's
be
advocate.
polite to the people who don't deserve your politeness.
Is what she's saying that you shouldn't be polite to those people either, or is she just merely making a blanket statement for edginess sake?
To me,
would
it
have
shows
to
she's
ask
very
her.
basic.
Yeah.
Yes,
at the end
she's
of the day,
extremely basic.
Yeah.
All of these things are very predictable. She is actually conducting this interview from a remote Welsh cottage, which she is selling as a result of her fourth divorce from a non-binary photography producer. She is 42. She identifies as queer, neurodivergent, and disabled. And she has talked previously about being ethically non-monogamous.
Do they actually use the phrase identified as disabled?
Yes. She identifies as disabled.
I already had my meltdown off air. Here's but this is the whole reason this got started is because I made a joke that they did her very dirty in this photo comparison right here. Let me see if I can pull it up full screen. Yeah,
this is her. Okay.
They use like a red carpet photo of him, and then they picked like they went out to dinner photo, like screenshot of her.
She's not a looker, okay? I think everyone can tell. And the fact that she, as a fourth-time divorcee, 42-year-old witch, was able to bag a Hollywood A-list actor is perhaps the greatest marketing scheme for her seduction masterclass.
I guess what they're saying here is Andrew Garfield draws the line at fifth-time divorced. He's like, look, I won't marry somebody who's been divorced 5 times.
She's just a hopeless romantic. That's what it is.
What it is.
But on a recent episode of her podcast, she talked about all of the attention she's been getting from the media due to this relationship. She said, it's frustrating that no matter how accomplished or impactful a woman is, it's always going to be more interesting if they're in a relationship with a man. I don't want to sit under anybody's shadow.
Before you go on, can I just point out like the lack of creative drive behind this photo? You've got a woman who's a self-proclaimed witch, and it just looks like a photo you would use for any magazine article about any boss girl, Fortune 500. Like, her and the chick from Bumble should not have the same photo type taken when you're taking their photos for their magazine profile.
You have lots of criticisms about her photos in general. She needs to get better.
No, this is not about her. This is about the art design.
So
she should be wearing robes, or there should be something mystical here.
She's not selling anything different than the Bumble CEO.
Correct.
She has the exact same product, just in a different packaging. But yeah, she said, I don't want to sit under anybody's shadow.
Well, then don't marry a A-list actor.
If you don't want
date an A-list
people
actor.
to pay attention to you just for the relationship you're in with a man, you probably shouldn't be dating an A-list actor in Hollywood.
It's
But
like
she
old is
says
he?
it's like the Harry and Meghan worldwide privacy tour.
exactly. She wants her
Yeah.
privacy. Kate Thomas is no stranger to Hollywood and the corridors of power. She calls herself a professional witch and spiritual mentor with powerful intuitive abilities. And her website includes testimony from Lena Dunham saying, Kate has kept me out of catastrophe time and time again. I would die without her.
It's funny
That's
because
the
I
worst
feel like
review.
I feel like 10 years ago, the big business CEO who relies on some type of psychic or witch would actually be folksy seeming and kind of irreverent and fun. Now it's just annoying.
It's extremely
Somehow it's just
boilerplate
annoying.
now. She uses tarot cards to structure the information she receives, and she charges $1,500 for a 45-minute reading, which includes 2 full days of WhatsApp messages to unpack her readings. And after that, she asks for a 6-month minimum commitment of $4,000 a month. Magic takes time, she says. It can't happen overnight. And also, her readings are very labor intensive, so she only does 2 to 3 a month.
Well,
because she's making bank on each one.
she wouldn't want to, labor herself.
And for companies, she applies a 6-month minimum plus a success fee reflective of profit, sales, or growth.
It's honestly genius.
She is kind of a marketing genius,
It's
yes.
genius.
But she says her price tags are a political act. To choose how to charge for your time, specifically as a woman, I could charge $1 million a session, and that would be completely ethical because I'm not exploiting anybody. And she's unapologetic about liking money because I'm a Taurus. I like luxury. I always have.
How have her and Gwyneth Paltrow not spent time together?
I need to see that crossover. Yeah,
Because unless it's real.
unless Gwyneth is actually one of her clients.
Did she actually?
Maybe.
So she basically she's the worst type of sociopath, right? Like she's using her gender as a completely reasonable reason to exploit someone and say that it's not exploitation.
What do you mean?
Right? Well, she turned it into a gendered issue. Read that quote again. Read what she said about being a woman and
Yeah, to choose how to charge for your time, specifically as a woman. She's saying she deserves to have exorbitant rates for all of her readings and services because she's a woman and she knows the value of her time and her emotional labor.
Look, I would buy into that argument for strippers and hookers. I don't know if I buy into that argument for
She is pouring her soul out for these people. And obviously her clientele, aside from the Fortune 500 companies, includes extremely narcissistic and emotionally fraught celebrities in Hollywood who are looking for that type of guidance.
Here's the real problem.
And have the means to afford it.
She calls herself an expert in seduction, but claims that she didn't use that technique to bag her A-list actor.
Kate Thomas, this says Kate Thomas claims it's totally untrue that she used her seduction techniques and magic to bag Andrew Garfield. Here she says on her podcast, the horrific accusations that were leveled at me that I used magic to seduce my partner. True seduction, she teaches, is not about magic spells or manipulation. It's got nothing to do with how perfect your teeth are, but how you conform to conventional standards of beauty. People that are really attractive are full of charisma because they are authentically themselves and confidently anchored in that. So she says that the way she attracted Andrew Garfield was through her confidence, not through magic spells. In her sales pitch for her Authentic Seduction Masterclass, she says, "We've got seduction all wrong. Seduction isn't about showing a stocking-covered thigh. It's about a deep and calm acceptance of the self and prioritization of one's own desires."
It's literally, even when it's talking about the act of pulling another person in romantically, women somehow make it about themselves.
Yeah, I don't think that seduction is about self-confidence. It's about desiring someone else. not yourself.
I mean, I don't even disagree with the basic premise of what she said. It's just annoying that the amount of when the language starts to become that verbose and that hyperbolic in the language, that flowery, I immediately check out, because it's just, I got a creative writing degree in college and a minor in human psychology, and I've turned it into a business model.
But
There's women like this all over Miami.
She could have written dialogue for The Acolyte with language like that.
Judging by her appearance alone, you wouldn't think she would be capable of dating a guy on the level of Andrew Garfield.
But I suppose with that authentic
history.
Nonetheless,
that authentic confidence means
it's her
that
authentic confidence, and she denounces the horrific accusations of using magic to seduce him.
Even calling the accusations horrific makes me angry.
And
So manipulative.
you guys can go to Kate Thomas's website and read all about her esoteric lineage and how she's gained all of this expertise. She actually is a PhD in Catholic theology and philosophy. I don't know how she got to this point in her life.
I will say that she
is a doctor.
I have made my complaints. She is a brilliant businesswoman who has brilliantly packaged something to sell to rich morons. So
Yeah, guys, we're doing the wrong thing.
I will give her that. Okay, she's brilliant at what she does.
Yeah.
I just find the verbose language and the narcissism to be a bit annoying.
She said she grew up with dogmatically atheist parents, but realized that she was an intuitive at around 12 years old when she first realized her abilities.
Let me guess, she's an empath.
She said, I was experiencing what felt like overwhelming sensorial experiences, extra information about things that other people didn't see, which I now understand as spiritual beings.
Can I just stop you right there? What she just said is, I got emotional sometimes.
Well, I mean, empaths are more emotional than the rest of the population.
But she just used 37 words to describe what could have been said in 10. I got
you
emotional
can somehow
sometimes.
package that into a successful business,
More power to you.
more power to you, except for the fact that I, of course, abhor all forms of divination, astrology, and witchcraft. You know, you got to hand it to her for being able to find clients that are stupid enough to believe this stuff.
I would love to know her. I bet she's got strong opinions on Harry Potter, positive or negative.
Yeah. So her reputation grew by word of mouth, and soon celebrities came knocking. She read for a model agent in the 2000s. She went on to have supermodel clients. Gisele Bündchen, I'm sure, is one of them. Another customer is a PR executive. And corporates also followed, from TV networks to hedge funds. And she decided to stress that she refuses to perform spells for clients. Despite hexing the X being a continual request, her reason is that I don't want the responsibility. I want to empower other people to access their own capacity to change their life. So I train them how to do ritual magic.
Lol, she trains them
she's
how
a
to
life
hex
coach.
She trains them how to hex the X rather
She
than do it
says,
herself.
intuition is a faculty we all have. I don't think of it as supernatural. So this is ultimately just a self-help guru
She's got a
who is
big
selling
picture.
online classes for thousands of dollars, but is really good at using compelling rhetoric and branding and imagery to make people think that she has a gift.
She's got a big poster in her office that says, "Teach a man, like give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man a fish, and feed him for a lifetime."
She admits that dating movie stars comes with a price. The paparazzi will take maybe 150 pictures, and then they choose the 4 where you look the worst.
I will give her that.
Yeah.
That was true. They did pick the worst ones.
What's most depressing is the misogynistic nature of that interest. Criticism of how a woman looks or what she does for work. On her podcast, she mentions encountering misogyny from other women online.
I was about to say, bro, do you think any dude gives a crap about this? I found this headline mildly interesting, and Mary ran with it when she found the part about the witch. We would never have covered this
Magic
if it
takes
hadn't
time.
been for Mary looking into it deeper. I just thought it was funny that they made her look ugly as hell in the photo. Like, it's women that are judging you.
Yeah, she encountered misogyny from other women online. Quote, nothing could prepare me for having literally thousands of women telling me I'm ugly, unattractive, I'm less than in every conceivable way. So in response, she fell back on the practices she teaches, moving out of the victim space and reclaiming your power that has been taken from you.
Okay.
That might be screaming into a pillow, doing a cord cutting spell, or putting a dome of energy like a bell jar over somebody that is actively harmful.
Now this is nefarious.
She says the most powerful form of psychic protection is knowing who you are and being okay with that.
Xanax and water. That's what she's saying.
But yeah, she's gotten glowing reviews from a lot of celebrities. I think Tom Singh was also listed here, Lena Dunham as well.
Mind you, like, didn't a ton of celebrities defend Drake Bell's abuser? Like, I don't care if a celebrity endorses someone. It doesn't really mean anything to me. But I get, obviously, to other people, that means a lot. And right now she's just taking this opportunity to market so hard.
I suppose it's the subjective nature of satisfied client, right? I guess as long as they leave that meeting in a better headspace than they were when they got there, technically they got what they wanted out of it.
But screaming into a pillow is not a coping mechanism.
But as they say, a fool and his money are easily parted. So,
well, if you get endorsements from successful people, less successful people are going to see that and think, oh, I could be like them. So I guess there are tons of women out there who want to be like Lena Dunham someday. But you know, this kind of flies in the face of Tobey Maguire's recent foray with 20-year-old model Lily Chi. You know, you would think a high-value man would be going for the young, hot chicks, but actually Andrew Garfield is interested in a 42-year-old, 4 times divorced witch.
They must be about the same age. I think I was surprised at
He's 40. I Googled it.
Okay.
They remarked on this saying, whatever your view on witchcraft, perhaps Kate Thomas's greatest gift to the world right now is showing that it's possible for a Hollywood actor to date someone his own age.
So your options are 40-year-old witch, 20-year-old model.
Thank you,
Choose
guys.
wisely, guys. How about like a 30-year-old bookkeeper for a company?
Right. That's not exciting.
No.
You know what is exciting? The 42-year-old witch or the hot 20-year-old model?
But the thing is,
No in between.
Like, it doesn't like logic. Just general logic seem to indicate that finding the boring one is actually the one that's going to succeed because it's not hitting the high highs, which are then followed by the low lows.
But they're chasing a thrill.
Yeah.
There's no secret about that.
Or maybe he's just into getting hexed.
Maybe he's into that kind of thing. That's his kink, is getting bewitched.
None of my business. You know, what somebody does in the privacy of their own witch dungeon is their business and not mine.
She has no glam squad or orthodontist, just tons of smarts and soul and 0 F's given. Actually, she's a girl boss.
What does this have anything to do with an orthodontist? Is that a reference I'm not catching?
She has jacked up teeth.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
No offense to her on a personal level.
Well,
but,
she seems to.
You know, she has other qualities that are clearly enrapturing men across the world.
Again,
and if you guys are looking for a
witch,
a personal witch mentor, her services are available.
It's like when so you two will know, but the people watching will not unless they live in this area. There's an ad that plays every time we go to see a movie for a hair salon that is a coven.
Yes.
Like, actually?
Yes.
It's called like a coven.
I don't
salon.
even remember what the name.
A coven is a group of witches.
And they talk about their coven leader, who I guess is just the guy who owns the business.
There are a lot of ways to market magic now, and I'm just perusing her TikTok right now. I'm seeing headlines like magical seduction lotion recipe.
She should get in contact with those ladies from Australia who have the skincare company.
Yeah, there's clearly a lot to unpack here, but I hope Andrew Garfield is okay. He doesn't really have a choice to break up with her at this point because he's gonna get the Tom Brady
What was that movie?
curse.
Well, they're not married; they're just dating, right? So, what was that movie he did? Silence.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where he got into all this stuff. Is after doing Silence, he's found a Catholic theology major and. It's like, hey.
They did hint at him being interested in astrology himself, which for any man is a red flag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So they're a perfect match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm looking at his ex-girlfriends and like they were all relatively normal. Emma Stone.
Maybe this is his midlife crisis girlfriend.
You mean normal as in like not
not
nutty,
a witch.
but still a celebrity. And
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
normal.
in between, there has to be something in between witch and like A-list celebrity. There's gotta be a middle ground in there. You know,
I think Andrew Garfield is
30-year-old bookkeeper. I'm telling you, right? A 30-year-old lady who does the books for some small company.
When you're in the middle of a midlife crisis,
Buy a Ferrari.
sometimes you know, if you have all the money in the world, you have to date a witch.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.